So the question I'm asking in this video is, do we as humans have the ability to control in any way, shape, or form whether or not our attitude as we go throughout the day is going to be a good attitude or possibly a bad attitude? And if so, how does it apply to living in the Philippines? That's what I want to cover here in this video. I didn't find this out until recently because I started to research it. But the first 5 minutes that you wake up in the morning are extremely relevant and important as to how your attitude is going to carry on, not only immediately, but throughout the rest of the day. And there are some simple, quick fixes or habits that I can develop that can help ensure that I, and possibly you, can have some control over that. I know I've woken up on what I call the wrong side of the bed. For whatever reason, I get up and I'm just in a funky mood and I'm grumpy and I'm grouchy and I don't honestly understand why. I think that's just human nature. I think that can be that you might have a little touch of something that you're not aware of, a cold, a flu, a headache, a little bit of a fever, something like that. You may have had a disruptive evening. You may not have had a good night's sleep. But let's cast all that out. And let's just say that everything was hunky-dory. You went to bed, you got your 6, your 7, your 8 hours in, and now you're up and about. The first 5 minutes, how you spend it, is extremely important. And what can really, really sort of tank your day is to start off with one of these and start scrolling through social media, which is a bunch of nonsense. And especially if it's the news, and especially if it's the news that we've been receiving today about this party fighting with that party and the hot topic and everybody's mad and rah, 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 and all the infighting and all the backbiting and all the disagreements. Well, that just kind of sets a negative tone in my mind. And for some reason, that's been happening to me recently. I have been having the bad habit of get my first cup of coffee, sit down, turn on my phone, and the last thing I need to do is start reading about the world because it never seems to be that much good news. There's either a flood or a tornado or some sort of political meltdown, a war going on, and it's just so negative. When I did my research, the one thing that struck me the most, because I have a friend that practices this, he starts every morning when he wakes up. He opens his eyes, and the first thing that he does every single morning is he expresses gratitude. I learned that from him a long time ago. And for some reason, I've managed to let that slip away. And I have told myself, Paul, that's the last time you'll let that slip away. That is going to be the number one thing in my routine every morning, regardless of how I feel physically. I may have a touch of the flu. Well, that won't make you feel funky. That won't make you too, but I want to start my day expressing gratitude. Look, there's a lot of things to be thankful for, especially at my age. Number one, I'm upright. Number two, I'm married to a lovely lady. I have everything that I could possibly need. In fact, I probably have more than I could possibly need. And we lead a very minimalist type of lifestyle, my wife and I. And yet, I am grateful for the fact that we do that we don't overburden ourselves with a lot of stuff and toys and senseless things that aren't necessary. We try to keep it as basic down to housing, um, electricity, food, our dogs, our life together, and how we're going to spend our day, and being grateful that we have a relationship that, for the most part, just simply works, in spite of the age gap and all the other kind of stuff that I hear about. What can tank your day is listening to all the nonsense that's on social media. So I've made a little vow to myself. I am not going to open up my phone for at least 30 minutes when I first wake up. When I first wake up, I'm going to have that cup of coffee. I'm going to sit outside where I love to sit. I'm going to watch the world go by for 30 minutes, and I'm going to express gratitude either for 15 seconds or for 15 minutes. I am going to allow myself to understand that the day ahead of me, especially here in the Philippines, if I'm leaving the residence, because there's some days like today, my wife and I didn't leave the house. It was raining. We didn't have anything to do. We stayed here. We took naps. We just relaxed, enjoyed, and I was grateful. And I'm grateful right now as I make this video that we had the opportunity to just do what the hell we wanted to do. We didn't have to answer to anybody. There was no taskmaster. There was no time clock. There was no budgetary concerns. We didn't spend any money. That's always a winner, right? You stay home, you don't spend anything. So there is gratitude. And then that gratitude carries on into your attitude. If I am going to go into the city, I call Dumaguete the city because I live out in the suburbs of Valencia, I already know, I'm already forewarned, therefore forearmed, that no matter what it is I'm going to go do, it's going to be a challenge. To have what you would call an easy day in Dumaguete is kind of a contradictory statement, because if you go down, you got the traffic, and you got the knucklehead stuff with the trike drivers and people going 2 miles an hour and dogs and all the other stuff. You've heard the horror stories. All right, so you get through the traffic stuff, and then you got to fight for the parking space. And then you get yourself settled, and you finally get to the store where you're going to try to buy whatever it is you need, and they don't have any. So you go to place number 2 and 3. They don't have it either. And I have learned that if I tell myself up front, you know what, Polly boy, you and the old lady are going out today, and you're going to go try to buy whatever we're going to go buy, a pair of shoes, call it, and we don't find it. It's okay. The world's not going to collapse. The only thing that I would get jicky about is if I needed a certain medication. And I've had that happen, where I needed a certain medication, particularly for this eye I've been having trouble with, and couldn't get it. Yet, I found a workaround on it and ended up getting the medication. And so I'm grateful for my friends that stepped in and helped. How do you tank your day? You tank your day with negativity. You tank your day without having any clear set goals. At least I do. I shouldn't say you, me. If I don't have any clear set rules or regulations or goals or aspirations for the day, I can tank it. And this will sound contradictory also, but sometimes my aspirations are to do just what I said, nothing. My goal is to not, I brush my teeth, I have my coffee, I hang out at the house, I play with the dogs, we don't go anywhere. To me, sometimes that's a bigger victory than if we had gone out and won the lottery. It's just been a pleasant, easygoing experience. So, If you perform something in the morning, I was told, make your bed. You get your bed made, get that done. Sit down, maybe jot a few notes down of things you would like to accomplish or goals. There are all these little creative habits that we can form and that I'm going to try to work more on acquiring in order to improve my lifestyle. Because if I improve my lifestyle, I think it will affect the lifestyle of others. If I'm nicer, kinder, gentler, more soft spoken, much more positive in affirmations towards my wife and other people, then that is a good thing. And hopefully it's something that gets paid forward. I never want to be the guy that goes out and just loses his shit in the middle of the street because I didn't get my way. I did that one time and I'll never do it again. So guilty as charged. There are folks that I think that live out here and anywhere in the world. And by the way, what I'm saying here isn't just for the Philippines. This is for Memphis, Tennessee, as much as it is for sleepy little Dumagetti. How you spend the first 5 minutes of your day will really determine how the other 23 hours and 55 minutes go. At least from what I have researched, dug into, and seen. I also have a question for you in this video. This is one of those favors that I'm going to ask for. I don't like AI thumbnails, which I just put up on this video. Second time I've done it. I prefer more organic. And so this is off topic, but I'm going to ask for your comments. What's your opinion of the thumbnail where I took myself and I gave myself angel wings and devil horns to try to make a point of what the video was about, good attitude, bad attitude, or whatever I called the video. And I would just like to get your feedback on that. I personally don't like it, but I thought I would play with it and see what happens and look for some feedback from you guys. All right. So, and let me end it with saying, I hope everybody has a good day today.